It's a constituency that's ready for the taking. Obviously, if he had done this, I'm not saying 100% of these people would have voted Democrat, but more of them would have. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you, bet me any amount of money you want. Getting back to the railroaders for a second, Sam Seder on the Majority Report takes messages to the show, and one listener asked basically, why should Biden spend political capital on railroad workers when so many are conservative? So many are that, conservative work. There are which is, we were just talking about Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley. They're pretending to be, pro-working class and turning that working class identity into a cultural affectation. When we say that, we are not saying that there are not working class people who are culturally conservative. That is obviously the case, and there are, to the clip that you're about to see, to this IMer's point, some of them are conservative. I think Sam answered well. I wanted to expand on it though. So Adam, let's play that clip and then we'll respond.
Real talk. How many of those union guys actually vote for Democrats? 40, 50%? Just a raw political calculus. Speaking specifically about the rail union, check the demographics. I get your point, but I think the symbolic part, and I happen to believe that they're like mainstream Democrats, people in general don't care that much. They really don't. They would have cared much more about the strike happening and things. But I think for the base of the Democratic Party, a significant portion of the base of the Democratic Party, this is something that's going to sting for, into the next election. They got to do something about it.
In my opinion, that there are a large contingent of union railroaders who vote Republican is a reason to support them.
Right, it's evidence of your own failures thus far.
Evidence of your own failures so far, and it is like they're there for the taking. I mean, if you read, I just sent you last week, Adam, a page from a book that I'm reading about a paper strike in Maine, where Jesse Jackson came to speak to them, and he just came to speak to them. Imagine if he had the power to give them 7 more paid sick days, and then he did it, right? Imagine how much that would do. But he just came to speak to them and show his support. And this one white woman said, yesterday I could not have imagined voting for a black man for president. And today, quote is after the speech, today I'm writing him a check for his campaign. That's how much power you have to influence the decision of people when you help them. When you reach out your hand to folks, people appreciate that. People appreciate that. And you illuminate whose side people are on. And so if Joe Biden came out there and went to support these I'm confident that it's not a majority, but some of these union rail workers who do vote Republican, they're going to say, wow, that's funny. This Democrat got me 7 paid sick days. Wow. And look at this. Dozens of Republicans voted against it. So if it was up to them, I wouldn't have it. That's interesting. Donald Trump hasn't said anything about this. Well, that's interesting. So like the fact that it's a constituency that's ready for the taking is what I'm saying. Obviously, if he had done this, I'm not saying 100% of these people would have voted Democrat, but more of them would have. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you, bet me any amount of money you want. I mean, it's not operable because this isn't happening, right? But if Joe Biden had gotten them 7 paid sick days, I bet you any amount of money that you wanted, more union railroaders would have voted for him than will in 2024 now. And more union people, because it's not just like Sam said, this is going to sting the base. the base of the Democratic Party, the people who are activated and routinely vote for Democrats, union members across the country, this stung for them. And it is going to be that much harder to pull the lever for the lesser evil for people in 2024.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. I mean, and let's also just say this. It's the right thing to do.
Right.
Like,
would be nice if we could...
demographics aside, polling aside, partisanship aside, it's the right thing to do to help workers, right? And you should have a politics that's based around how do we help working class people? How do we build the power of working class people? And I think if your politics is motivated by that, you're not even really going to have to ask this question.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice if we could just have politics and the questions are, does this help working people? That would be nice to have a politics like that. But also on the flip side of that, like, okay, it's the right thing to do. I contend, and I feel extremely confident about this, it would be politically expedient. There would be a value to it in terms of the people that will vote for you. That's what I contend. I also contend that it's zero cost. Like who is the constituency that is going to be going into the ballot box in 2024 saying, I would have voted for Joe Biden, but he gave rail workers 7 paid sick days. I would have done that, but now I'm not. Who is that?
Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's the handful of railroad barons, and I mean, maybe there is legitimate fear there of the railroad barons and what they would do to them. But last I checked, they weren't like already there. It's not like they could count on them for support.
Right.
So I suppose you could inflame tensions there, and they could come out hard and heavy for the Republicans and fight you hard in the future elections. But I don't know. I agree with you. I think there's just you have much more to gain by doing the right thing than you do with what they've done. Standing on the side of capital. But again, that presumes that they want to win.
Right.
And I don't make that presumption of all Democratic officials, that they want to win. Not in the way that you and I define victory.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of winning elections and then passing legislation. That's not necessarily the goal for all those folks. Yeah. Or if it is, it's not necessarily the primary goal. And so that's something else.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.